To whom it may concern. The only place in my bathroom spared from the dark liquid that dripped from the ceiling was where I had placed my typewriter. The space above my bath was second driest, as I'm more waterproof than the fragile heirloom containing ware from 10 familial generations of writers. Whenever I could afford ink, I bought it, but usually when without it, I'd wait out the dry spell until I had saved enough to purchase more. Occasionally, I thought about using the liquid that leaked like oil from the plafond, but found it was merely dirty bathwater from my upstairs neighbor's leaky pipes, turned black by the ill-lit darkness of closed curtains. I only enter my writing room on Saturday writing day to compose short stories for magazines and pulps. On Sundays, I attend church and visit my mother. Weekdays, I work 9 to 10 at a job so insignificant that I don't want to immortalize it here, lest its inherent mundanity ruin this letter. When home and not typing, I sit in my bath. Most of my paycheck that could be used to buy ink is instead spent on ice to keep my necrotic skin cool. Since youth, I've needed ice to avert my condition. On lunch breaks, I routinely steal ice too, but that minor crime will likely be the most exciting thing I do in my shortened life. I relax, sleep, and wake in my bath, sometimes to freezing water around my suit and clothes. I have my TV in the bathroom, but I strictly fall asleep no earlier or later than 10 p.m., even on my Saturday writing days. In short, I live my strictly routine life perfectly. But last week was different. I was on a good run with my latest pulp. I was sure this was going to be the one that would propel me into the stars and make people read my works, so all I'd done wouldn't be in vain. And as I wrote a sentence that went on and on, just kept going, a good sentence, I grinned dandily, devoted to my cult of self as I'd never worked so efficiently, and to maintain that I'd tried something I'd never done in my unexciting career, nay, my life. I worked past 10 p.m. on my Saturday writing day and worked far into Sunday without a thought of church occurring to me in my scribe-like haze, as literature whistled through my bones, an expressive script came onto the page with relief, as I cleared out an encephalopathic cabinet until it was empty and I was a writer. Out of words. My whole week was shot. I was late to wake, I couldn't sleep, ice felt colder on my skin, causing me to tremble. I became accurately paranoid that the bath would entomb me. I was itching constantly, and couldn't rime my corpse-like skin, for it was too sensitive. Once, I spent a paycheck on ink instead of ice. When I set up my writing room, I ensured icy water wouldn't near an antiquity like the typewriter, but this was different. Weeks spiraled and broke my perfect routine, culminating in waking up Saturday night. Little did I quell the noxious reaction of missing that Saturday. To show how distant I became, you should know that despite being insatiably routine-oriented, I'm unsure of the date. I lost track 15 or 20 hours ago, perhaps longer, half a week. I would have marked this letter with the date if I knew. I spent a full paycheck on ice to compensate missed time, and when I got home, I emptied it into my porcelain mortuary. I trundled a wheelchair into the bathroom with the typewriter atop and lowered myself to an icily layered bath bottom. To my non-dominant left, I put paper, whiskey, and ink. I leant over the bath's dextral side to type the pulp story I was desperate to tell. In hindsight, it now means nothing to me. That night, I typed and retyped the story over and over, changing and editing for hours on end. In that bath, I stayed for 3 days, Friday night to Monday morning, fixing flaws, mistakes, drafting, over and over until I couldn't feel my legs. Freezing. Brain numbing. I had noticed the creeping numbness in my toes mocking me earlier, but only now the frosting feeling had made its way up my legs did I realize I could not move my legs, and could not lift myself out of the bath without spilling water on the typewriter and my pages, ruining them. I had never spent this long in the bath, crystallizing in the cold. Overnight, maybe, but this Arctic sweep had never tormented me this long. The longer I sat struggling, overthinking how I would pull myself out, The longer I had to understand, my fate had been sealed, and my stiff shoulders were getting number, colder and harder to feel. Sure to perish by morning by my own neglect, I have written this last note to tell whoever finds me that this isn't suicide, that you should hang this letter near my grave to immortalize my story, and when you take me to my church-side grave, place me beside my mother. Please keep the typewriter safe for me. I have nobody left to pass it to. I am a writer out of words.